Hi folks, and welcome to Reflections Coming from the Manse. Now if you saw yesterday's service in the church, you'd realise that I raised 4 questions that usually appear in any worldview. Let me just read them to you. How did we get here? What's the point of being here? Why are things the way they are here? And is there a way out of here? Now let me start by raising the question of a worldview. What do I mean by that? Well, just as I'm sitting here in the manse, and if I want to look out the window is framed, and that's the view that I look through. And in explaining the nature of reality and how we see the world and what we believe about the world, we frame it a certain way regarding the information that we receive and how we interpret that and how we put that together. So there are very different worldviews. Different religions have a different worldview. Different political ideologies have a different worldview. And there are variations in philosophy and even looking at morals as well, where everything is framed a certain way. And it's through that framework that life is seen and understood and interpreted. So of course there's a Christian worldview, and obviously I stand within the Christian tradition, and it's a Christian worldview that I hold to. So let's look at the first of these questions. How did we get here? Well, of course the obvious answer is a scientific one, where we look at the findings of science, and there's an explanation of the beginning of the universe, the Big Bang, and then of course the beginning of life on Earth and the way things have evolved from there. But in many ways, the scientific explanation is on one level of understanding. And for many people, that is enough. So the question is usually divided into 2. Is this world an accident, or is it a creation? And the Bible begins in Genesis 1:1 with the famous words, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Now, if you don't believe in God and you don't think there's a need for God and you hold to the scientific explanation alone, then that's enough for you. But what you are saying is that life, therefore, is an accident. We're here because we're here. Natural forces have shaped and moulded everything, and here we are, and we just have to get on with it. On the other hand, if you believe this is a creation, the world is a creation, and you might be driven to that through just a sheer sense of wonder, that as you reflect on the starry sky at night, or the mountain tops, or the ocean standing at the ocean's edge, or how amazing life on Earth is, the variety of species and a whole variety of the intricacies and the wonder of it all. And if you also have a sense of gratitude about life and see it very much, it impinges upon you as a gift, then both of these things, wonder and gratitude, can lead to a sense of spirituality and the need for a God, or at least the question being raised, is there a God? So an accident or a creation, that's the choice that we have. But at this stage we need to qualify things, because it's possible to believe that there's a God and not go any further with that. Because you see, if we say there's a God, then that raises more questions. Let me give you an illustration. David Attenborough, there's a clip of him in being interviewed on the internet. And the question of God comes up. And he tells a story about they were filming an ant hill in the jungle. And they'd removed the top of the ant hill so the camera could film all the activity within the ant hill. And David Attenborough said that when he was doing this, he was thinking, is this how God sees things, if there's a God at all? Now, he wasn't saying there was, but the thought came to him that as he was watching all the ants busying about doing the things that they do within that colony, they were unaware of him. And he was wondering, is that a God's eye view of things? That God, if he exists, looks at everything, and there we are in the world like little ants. Now, he wasn't saying he believed in God, but the possibility of a God. But note that in that story, God is removed and distant from it all. And sometimes people can believe that there's a God. They don't have a problem in saying, yeah, there's probably something behind the world, a mind or something like that created it all. But then they get on with their life as though, well, that's no big deal. Because surely the next question is, well, if there is a God, and if we do believe that this world is a creation, what is it created for, and who is behind it all? And to take it no further than that seems crazy. So if we say that we believe in God, if you say you believe in God just now, but you don't do much with that, maybe the challenge is to say, well, hang on a minute, let's think this through. Because what we say we believe has consequences. So if this world is a creation, and we got here because mind, the mind of God, created matter, and that matter has evolved into all the things we see, but it's the mind that made it, then what has it been made for? And what are we made for? What's it all about? What's the reason behind this? Where is it going? What's the purpose? And these questions, these subsidiary questions, immediately follow on from the affirmation that this world is a creation. To leave it just, well, at the point, well, yeah, maybe there is a God, is surely to miss out on so many things. So the answers to the question, how did we get here, have consequences. If it's a creation, then we need to follow up on that and find out what it's created for and who created it. If it's an accident, well, make the most of it, make the best of it, and that's the end of it. Two choices. And often in the scriptures, that's what we're given. A choice between this road or that road. Which one are we going to take? That's for further exploration at another time. But for today, thank you for listening, and God be with you all.